Memes aside, is Diablo Immortal any good? And I feel like that's the question a lot of people have because, we're just so... we just have these expectations about the game. They really introduced it in probably the worst way any game has ever been introduced. People were excited for Diablo 4, and instead we were spoon-fed a mobile game announcement that we didn't want. And then when we said, hey, we don't really want a mobile game, is this also going to be on PC? They asked, do you have phones? Don't you guys have phones? What is going on? What is wrong with you people? Just play the mobile game, shut up and be happy. And because of that mindset, because of that response that they gave to fans that paid to attend their marketing show, well, it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But all of that aside, is Diablo Immortal any good? Well, let's start with the gameplay because in my opinion, that's the most important part. And on the phone, honestly, it feels pretty good. I like it a lot. It feels like an ARPG. It doesn't quite feel like a completely Diablo experience, but it definitely does get the general gist of that Diablo gameplay. It's not a perfect experience by any means, but I do like the different things they did with it. For instance, they added people running around and people able to just join your party and people able to interact with you and a lot more interactive chat. There's so many different social elements that were really missing from Diablo 3 that I feel would have improved the experience because it is a great feeling seeing other people running around. The towns are populated with real players. So unlike Diablo 3 where you feel like you're kind of the only person that is actually alive because all the other NPCs are just standing around doing nothing, it feels like a living, breathing world. However, we also have to talk about the PC element to this, and I'm going to talk about the gameplay on mobile and PC, the graphics on mobile and PC, so on and so forth. So, how is the gameplay on PC? Well, when you're on the mobile platform, you're being compared to other mobile games. When you're on the PC platform, you're being compared to other PC games. And once we get to the comparison of other games that already exist, that's where the game starts falling flat. If you're looking at playing this as a PC game, you compare it to Path of Exile, Grim Dawn, even Torchlight 2, or even its own predecessor, Diablo 3, you're gonna have a better time playing those other games. You just are. And the fact that a lot of those games are geared towards almost every computer setup imaginable, even a budget setup, it means you'll most likely be able to play those games, so why not just play a better version on the PC? However, one could argue, hey, I want to play Diablo Immortal on the PC because I've got that cross progression. Maybe I just want a bigger screen for playing the game sometimes. And then I'll play the mobile version while I'm taking a crap or on vacation or something. And I could kind of understand that, but at the same time, well, let's get to the other two categories here. Now, the graphics are pretty damn good for a phone game. I like the look of it. I think it's great. But on the PC, again, the camera is it's so zoomed in. Even on the phone, it feels a little bit too close to the character. You only get a little bit of a view. I feel like I'm way too close. I want to be zoomed out a bit. And I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, was Diablo 3 like this? So I booted up Diablo 3, and no, it is much more zoomed out. And I wish there was more control over the camera with these type of games. I wish you could zoom in, zoom out. I feel like that's a pretty common thing for games to have. So it's surprising that this game doesn't have it. And the fact that this is, again, made by a massive company, this is not an indie company, makes me wonder why in the world couldn't you have done some sort of zoom in, zoom out thing. Also, because the port, which by the way, the port for the PC, we're going to be talking about that in the performance category, but the port is the worst PC port for any mobile game I've ever seen. Talk about lazy. Even the very first screen says tap to play when it is obvious that you're playing on the PC. It's just sad. It is just a sad port, and I don't think there's any excuse for it. I'm glad it's on the PC. I'm glad there's a port on the PC, that there's the option to play, but it shouldn't be the worst place to play. The graphics options are just terrible. And look, before I talk about more graphic, let's just jump into performance, because performance, that's where the game, you start seeing a massive divergence between mobile and the PC. Mobile, it was a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. Like the entire time I was playing it, I was shocked how good the game looked running on my phone. Now that being said, if you have it at 60 frames per second and you have the resolution turned all the way up, your phone is going to get hot. In fact, the game even warns you that, hey, you're turning up the settings, it's gonna get warm. It starts to hurt your thumb after about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay. You really start feeling that heat, and you're like, this can't be good for my phone. And it probably isn't. But so, I don't know, it's really up to you if you want to play that 60 frames per second. Maybe turn down some of those graphics so you're not running your phone too hot. Maybe you have a gaming phone or something like that, so you're fine. I have an iPhone Pro Max 13, so you think it would be fine running this game, which it is, but again, it has those overheating issues. It doesn't have some big fan built in like a gaming console, you know what I mean? So the cooling issue is definitely real. However, on the PC, wow, this game runs like crap. I mean, it does not look amazing on the PC. The graphics are much worse on the PC, obviously, because it's a blown up image of what you're seeing on your phone, and it looks terrible, and it runs horribly. Now, this might be changed by the time you're watching this. I don't know. I can't see into the future, but as the time I'm recording, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, they give you a bunch of different frame rate options, 30, 60, 120 uncapped, but it doesn't matter what you pick because it's going to drop frames like crazy. It's going to sometimes just momentarily freeze when you go into a new zone. I don't understand why this is happening because unlike the phone version, which is constantly installing stuff in the background if you want it to and still ran perfectly fine when I was, this game has the entire game already downloaded, already installed. So what in the world is going on to momentarily freeze my game and look this bad? I just don't understand it. And it makes combat a lot more frustrating. It's a lot less satisfying to play because of how janky it feels. Because again, it feels like you're playing a mobile phone game just emulated on your PC. There's no reason why they couldn't have made the PC port better. I'm just saying, again, this is not an indie studio. They don't get all these wonderful excuses that an indie studio would have when it comes to a poor port on the PC. It's unacceptable to be in this condition. And I'm hoping they fix it. I mean, they're already, I'm sure, making bucket loads of money from this game. But, yeah. And now that we're talking about money, that is... that's where a big problem comes into this game and makes it something that's difficult for me to invest a lot of time into. Because I know what the game is. This is a cash grab. It just is. I mean, that's how it is. Whenever you get a game like this that has all these pay-to-win elements, because it does have pay-to-win elements in it, it makes you feel like, why am I playing this? Why am I playing this? If other people can just pay their way past me, what's the point? Especially in a game that has PvP that can be influenced by this pay-to-win market. It's not good. Ooh. I can get this. That's exciting for $1. So much extra value. Look at that value. How do they calculate that? How is this calculated? 570% value. This is 800% extra value. What does that mean? I don't know. You get these orbs, which are the commodity used for the shop, and you get that axe. These you get crests, which are essentially loot boxes. That's pretty cool. I can buy some crests. So 160. How much is 160? Oh, 1,000. That looks terrible. They just look so overkill. That one's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. The gladiator type thing. But the thing about Diablo is I like seeing my character's armor change as I play, you know? Like, I don't want to just look like this the whole time. That's why I don't have any of my cosmetics on. So 60 is $1. $25. So it's $20 for a skin. This is $20. That's absurd. Collector, what does that mean? Standard collector. What does that even mean? What is the difference here? What is this? What is... Oh, you get a different portal. Oh, what the fuck? What is that? What just happened? You get an extra portal for another $5. Ooh. Ooh, that doesn't look any different. Wow. Extra $5 for a different looking portal, guys. Services. So there's the battle pass. We'll take a look at that in a second. Boon of Plenty. Oh my god. They have a fucking monthly subscription, basically, for this game. Are you kidding me? There's a monthly subscription for this game. 6 rows of an inventory expansion, which means they limited it on purpose to make people pay real money. That's pretty cool. Remote market access. You don't have to go to the market physically, I guess, in the game. Market trade slots. Oh my god. And then, of course, the login rewards. Oh. And then you can just buy, you can just outright buy materials. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's take a look at the battle pass. Where's the battle pass? God, the menus suck. I hate the menus so much. Oh, it's over here. Wait a minute. Codex? There we go. Jesus. Why is this not in the menu? Let's take a look at the battle pass. Ooh. I can get this axe, so my axe will always look like this. That's exciting. Get some more materials, some gems. I don't know what this is. Scoria. More materials. I don't know what hilts are. Exclusive coinage of the knights used at the hilts trader. So there's so many different currencies. There's at least 3 that we know of. No, there's 4. There's 4 currencies. Because there's... Okay. Jesus Christ. So, is there a way to look at my currencies? Yes. Okay. So there's this. There's gold, which is used for, you know, just buying random stuff, doing upgrades, things like that. There's platinum, which I believe is used for the trade market. And there is the orbs. It's exciting. There's the orbs. And then, oh, and there's the hilts, which I have not seen the person for yet. I mean, if you can buy materials, you know that they designed the game around that fact. They're going to make it so it's a pain in the ass. It's going to take a long time to get those specific materials, and they're going to tempt you to just spend real money on them. Also, the prices on things are ridiculous. If you're using that sorry, sad, pathetic excuse like, oh, are you too poor? Leave. Leave, because you're just kind of a terrible person. I don't know why you're shaming people for how much money they have and why you think it's cool to waste money on $25 skins. That's right, guys. $25 for a skin. Now, this is a collector's skin, you might be saying, if you're trying to defend the game. A regular skin is $20. That's right. Your suit of armor, you want to look like that forever, $20. Normally when I'm playing Diablo, I don't like using too many transmogs because I want to watch my armor change as I get new gear, because that's part of the excitement for me, to see my character change visually from level 1 to level 70. But a lot of people do like the transmogs, and they're going to take advantage of that fact by not, you know, just giving you a bunch like Diablo 3 did, and in fact charging you $20 per transmog. To put that in perspective, you can get the Game of the Year edition of Diablo 3 constantly for like 20 to 40 bucks. So that's 2 skins, or 1 skin, for a fully featured game. And that's just not okay. That's just not. They're not microtransactions anymore. These are actual transactions. $20 is a full game. So it just doesn't make sense to me why they're charging so much. It's crazy to me that this has become the new norm. Also, with the loot boxes, the fact that there are loot boxes in this game has made it banned in certain countries. And I don't think loot boxes should exist. Just stop. And the weird way they tried to get around these things being labeled as loot boxes is basically you get these crests that make the portals have a better chance of dropping better gear, which is just a loot box with extra steps. It just is. Man, it's so frustrating because honestly, it was so close to greatness. It was this close to greatness. And yet they chose to go the greedy, money-grubbing route. But honestly, it's Activision Blizzard. Could we see them doing anything else? If they had just stuck to cosmetics, but not had the fact that there's cosmetics in the game influence the actual, like, armor in the game, that would have been great. Just here's some, like, extra cool armor bits you can pay for, and they're in the battle pass, and some extra weapon skins. That's fine, as long as it didn't affect gameplay. However, this all affects gameplay, and from what I've seen so far in the game, it feels like armor just doesn't look that cool. Now, maybe later on, there'll be some cool armor sets that are not paid, but as I've been leveling in the game and as I've been playing, I mean, most of the helmets look exactly the same. Most of the chest pieces look exactly the same. It doesn't seem like there's a whole wide variety of armor like there was in Diablo 3. And again, whenever you see something in the store, you have to think, why are they selling that? And how is that affecting the rest of the game? Because if it's in the item shop, it's most likely affecting the rest of the game. They designed the game around the fact that there's an item shop. So if it's in there, it means it's affecting everything else. So because there are so many cosmetics in the shop, that's making me think that the variety of cool looking armor that you don't have to pay for is going to be very slim. And so far, that's what I've seen. So there you go. There are my thoughts on Diablo Immortal. Is it worth playing on the phone? I think so. I think it's a good game to play while you're in the car, not driving, of course, in the bathroom, you know, just to kill 20 or 30 minutes. But do I feel like it's an amazing game that you want to be playing on your phone? And then when you're not on your phone, I gotta get on my computer, I want to play this. This is going to be a super addictive, amazing game. No. It doesn't have this same charm that Diablo has. It doesn't have a lot of things that made that game amazing. You know, and had me kept coming back and maxed out like 20 different characters. It doesn't have that same feeling because that item shop is there, because you know the grind is coming. And it really does ruin the experience a bit by having all these mobile phone notifications all over my screen. It keeps telling me that I have a new skill when I've already looked at it. It always has a red dot on something so I can look at the new stuff in the store. Like, it has all these different things that just distract you from having fun, and because of that, it's a solid phone game, but it's not an amazing game itself. There you go. Do with that as you will. Hope you guys liked the review. Of course, leave a like down below if you did. Comment down below how you guys think about the game so far. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.